we're going to do this, but we're going to do it our way.
You bought a robot baby?
Wow, that was a joke grenade. That took me a second. Imagine the poop emoji as furniture.
It's weird that we didn't do that 10 minutes ago.
We should have started that before, you know. That makes a lot of sense. Why wouldn't we do that?
Too late now.
Matt, you forgot to disclaimer this part. We're old, and we remember how it used to be. There, go. And it was better then, too. You got to put that in there. Ice is back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly.
While you guys are weaving belts, I'm going to sing this little tune that I wrote.
We think we're funny. On with the show.
This is X Radio X.
All right. Hey, Matt. We're here. I hit record, so it's now time to do this.
Oh, I'm so pumped. I can't believe it. I can't believe we've made it this far. Looks like we've made it.
And just like our normal episodes, we said all the funny stuff before we hit record.
I know. I've got nothing left.
This will be a short one. We'll be over in about 10 minutes.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next year.
Can you believe it? We actually did this 10 times.
We have. Yeah.
10 times.
10 times. That's
I was
exciting.
impressed we did it one time.
Yeah. And it's funny.
10.
It's funny because I was talking to actually my dad about this today. And he said, "Are you where you wanted to be when you started the podcast?" And I said, "Dad, we both decided if anyone we didn't know listens to it, then that's a win." And I think that we have won. I mean, we're winners, pretty much.
We are. And by the way, I kind of
Yes.
have this slight scratchy cough. I figured I'd celebrate 10 podcast episodes with making it inaudible by me coughing.
Perfect.
So,
all right.
That's for
Sounds
all
good.
the listeners, all 10 listeners out there that we made it to.
And
Yeah, I think I think it's cool that your dad asked you, that he even took an interest to be like,
oh,
"So,
it's because,
son, are
no,
you where you thought you'd be?"
don't get it twisted. I brought it up.
Well, you know,
I always bring it up.
podcasters are like CrossFitters. We do remind you every 30 seconds that we do this.
It's so hard. It's so hard to not. It's impossible for me to not say something. And I feel bad for the people who I communicate with on a regular basis, because that is the information that they're going to hear from this end of the conversation. And then it's up to them to steer it to something different, because I'm a skipping turntable.
Yeah. You're a big proponent of the things that you're doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That
Plus,
makes
I think
sense.
that this is fun. And I think that, it's one of those mediums where you just have to kind of tell people and maybe remind them a little and maybe incessantly bother them to get them to keep listening and to, participate in the process. And so I don't mind doing it. And everyone else so far, no one's explicitly said, "Shut the hell up about your podcast." So I feel like I'm good.
I think it's because we know nice people. Nobody has told me that yet either.
That's true. We do know nice people. All the people, everyone who's put up with me this far, you're very nice. You're very kind. Thank you.
Yeah. None of them have told me either. It's like, "That's fantastic that you're doing that, Jayce. Now shut up." Nobody cares. I mean, we think it's fantastic, but nobody cares. I mean, did I say that out loud? But nobody cares.
Nobody.
I feel like at least a few people care.
I think so. Well, okay. So we get feedback. If we didn't get feedback, I feel like we would be out there on an island and no one literally would care. If someone was just like, if you said, "Hey, my podcast," and they're like, "So what do you want to watch?" Then you'd be like, "Okay, you literally could not keep talking about this for another second." And that
But
would
I
be
think
sad.
that at that point you probably would, just to annoy them.
Yeah, I would.
So do you know about podcasts?
Have you
They're
heard
called
of them?
podcasts because they originated by being on the Apple iPod. So they kind of took on the name of, I don't know if that's how
Makes
they
sense. It
got their
seems
name,
logical.
but we'll go with it.
It seems logical.
So we have 10 episodes, and we're kind of gonna talk about our 10 episodes a little bit. Don't worry, folks. It won't be like this boring, like, one on the first episode,
Here's the
we
first
said
thing he
this and talked about David Bryan. Because we haven't mentioned him in a few episodes, so I figured I'd get him in early.
Oh, good. That's over with. That's a relief to know that we've gotten that done, and now we can, the Band-Aid's been ripped off.
Because I'm sure he listens, and he's probably been like, "You guys have left me out like 3 episodes. What's
I think
the deal?"
so. We love you, David Bryan.
That's
Your
right.
hair, your piano playing, your Tony Awards, all of it.
The fact that you're in Bon Jovi.
Probably the most, but yeah, all the other
Yeah.
stuff too. You're a total package. You are a total curly-headed package.
If you say that wrong, like if you say like you're the total package, that sounds great. Instead of saying you're a total package,
I know.
because it kind of has two different sounds. Different. We'll just go with that.
Yeah.
Anyways, a few episodes in, when we were interviewing the doc,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of, goaded us into putting disclaimers in case people didn't realize.
Yes, thank you.
We're a bunch of, middle-aged guys, saying poo-poo words.
I'm glad
the
you
internet.
remembered this, because it's instinct to just start off, and we need to make sure we are sensitive to
Right.
tiny
So
baby ears.
Since we're highly trained professionals, we should get our episode started correctly by giving our disclaimer. And I wrote another one for this week, so I hope you don't
Ignore
mind.
everything you heard before this.
That's right. This is the official start. So here we go. Beware, episode 10. Bet we say shit at least 10 times. If we do, you win an 11th episode. If we don't, you lose, and you have to endure an 11th episode. You've been warned. On with the show.
I love it. Thank you.
So there you go.
Now everybody knows. And the little E on the thing when you download our podcast, it does mean explicit. It doesn't mean entertaining, but we are also that. And it doesn't mean E for everyone, like a video game.
Oh, it doesn't mean entertaining.
Or does it mean E for everyone? No, it's explicit, right?
Yeah, so this will probably, make me sound like a bad father, but
Yeah.
I know my kids have listened, so we'll just go with E for entertaining,
All right, perfect.
not E for explicit. Even though when we do talk about certain things, we get explicit, because I'm going to give you a little feedback that I received from my family.
About me?
No, not about, well, it's about us.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Essentially, I got a, Dad, it's funny to listen to you because you guys will have a subject, and then Matt will mention one small thing, and you'll talk about it for a half an hour.
No, how dare you?
It's not even the thing you meant to talk about. So there's some
never happens.
There's some live feedback from my daughter. Actually, It wasn't just my daughter. It was my daughter said it, but everybody else went and looked at me and like, yeah. So they all agree.
Yeah, they were nodding the whole time that she said it. They just pushed her in front to be the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, that was my daughter voice, by the way. Dad, guess what?
That's
Dad,
good.
Dad, your podcast? Yeah, Dad, guess what?
But she listens.
She listens. Yeah, which I'm not sure I should be proud of, but she does. So here we are.
So we are going to do a little bit of a wrap up of the year, our first season, if you will, because we decided that episode 10 was going to be the culmination of this project's first sort of baby steps, right? And it's 10 episodes. It's clean.
Yep.
We'll do another one soon, and it'll be, season 2, right?
2 hands worth. Both hands full.
2 hands worth. That's poetic.
Yeah.
I like it. Wow.
So, and our 10th episode actually was going to be, it was going to be an interview with our friend Bridget.
Really
but
sad.
technology was not our friend this week, and we had to postpone it. And it wasn't
in many ways.
Yeah. The funny thing was it wasn't just one side. Both sides had technical issues. Therefore, we're like, yeah, we'll do this at a later date when we can actually do it justice and have a good time with it.
I really wish that she had been in the lab at a library laughing and telling obscene stories about radio.
Yeah,
telling all the people playing Fortnite or researching projects.
Yeah, one or the other. I would have liked to have her sitting in a library on a borrowed Chromebook from the library telling us about prison fan mail that she received while working in college radio, because I don't know if she's going to remember, but I remember some of the letters and it's like,
goodness. Yeah.
And I know she has one story at least. I know she has more than one story. There's just one in particular I'm hoping she tells. I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to say anything or even let on what it is, because if she doesn't tell it, I don't want anybody to be like, oh, she didn't tell that one story Jayce talked about.
Yeah, and I think it would be too much to assume that she kept any of those prison fan letters, but I hope, fingers crossed, that she kept at least one.
Do you think it's too much to assume that? I mean, on our Facebook page, I've seen some of the stuff that other people have kept from the Radio X days.
Yeah.
Spike, I'm looking at you. I'm looking right at you.
No, I have to say, with all sincerity, everyone who has posted things to our Facebook little group about, pictures and documentation from, that has been so fun. It's really cool that everyone's just kind of dumping things into that little chat or whatever it is, Facebook, and we can all kind of experience, oh, this is what you kept, and oh, this is what you kept. And I really want some of the audio files that Kent has. I want some of those to play.
There's some out there, and there's also, and I want to say Bonnie has the list of the inaugural XE Awards.
Oh, wow.
The XE Awards and the what is it when it was like the senior wishes or whatever?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you talk about like Proof Rock's going to go off and rule the world or something like that.
Yeah.
But they were much funnier than that, and
right.
Some of them totally not suitable for airplay. But it's the internet, so we can do what we want.
Sure, that's true. I think that's fair.
So that's hopefully stuff coming up. But let's kind of delve into, we're at episode 10. So that means we did 9 before, in case you can't count. In our first episode, it was basically us trying to figure out how to work this thing.
Yeah, I hopped into the DeLorean and I went back and listened, and it literally was pretty much, what do I sound like now? What do you sound like now? For like the first half of it.
The funny thing is that one,
okay?
That one has the most listens, which I'm not sure what to make of that, because I feel like, all of you people who listened, like it like drops off considerably to episode 2. I'm like, I wish you guys would have came back, because we figured out how to work our microphones.
Yeah, we got good. We got good since then. So give it another chance. If you just listen to the first one, give it another chance. We're actually cool.
So apparently you were texting me about, apparently I was making a analogy or comparison between Gene Simmons and David Bryan.
It was just such a funny conversation. So first off, I was listening back, and I don't always listen back, but I was listening back to episode 1, and we were talking about the controversy of David Bryan being known as, Tony winner David Bryan versus Bon Jovi's David Bryan, and which would be better in which circumstance. And so I use the analogy, Gene Simmons has written a book. Would he be known as author, like, best-selling author Gene Simmons, or would he be Gene Simmons from Kiss?
It's not even
you implied that people know who Gene Simmons is, basically, and nobody knows the name David Bryan. So it's not apples to apples, and I was just cracking up listening to it, because it struck me as very funny.
I'd like to think more people know who David Bryan is now.
Now we're doing a good service. I think more people know that name, and they don't think it's the librarian in their town. They think it's a famous Bon Jovi keyboard player. And so you're welcome, David Bryan.
If you want to know David Bryan's best work, go listen to Runaway by Bon Jovi.
Easily his best.
But followed up, I think, is also Let It Rock on the Slippery When Wet album. It's
Let
great.
It Rock.
Oh yeah, it starts out with a whole keyboard thing.
All right, I'll check that out. I don't even know that song, I don't think.
I want to say it's the first song on the album.
That's a hair metal deep cut, even though it's the first track. I don't think, was that charted? Did that go anywhere?
I don't think that was a single.
No.
That was the album that put him over the top, though, with You Give Love a Bad Name, and then that was it.
I'm tentatively writing Let It Rock in my homework, but I don't know that I can promise him and listen to it.
Just listen to the first minute, and you'll be fine.
That'll be enough. Okay.
Yeah,
that was the first episode. We started talking about David Bryan, and we kind of just kept going. And every once in a while we forget, but almost every episode, including this one now, thank you, we have made sure to pay tribute.
like he's dead or something. We're here to pay tribute to the keyboard player,
one day
known as David Bryan.
One day he'll reach out, and the cease and desist letter that we receive will be framed.
As long as it's signed to both of us, we'll be happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't leave one of us out, David Bryan and his people.
So then we actually did do show stuff that episode. We talked about Christmas songs, which was fun.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that was right around Christmas time.
It was one half. What do we sound like? What are we doing? Is this thing on? Tap, tap, tap. And then the rest was we talked about Christmas songs.
Oh, yeah.
So it's our
we had the
holiday
R2D.
episode.
We had the R2D2 Christmas song in there, right?
Exactly. Yep. We talked about Bon Jovi's Christmas mishaps and how he should never write another one. He should never sing another one.
He should never sing another one. And how Brett Michaels from Poison's version of Jingle Bells is terrible.
Obviously.
And that's coming from a guy who has seen them multiple times.
Yeah.
But that version is terrible. Don't do that again.
Yeah.
I hope you've learned your lesson.
Some people just need to stay in their lane.
Yeah.
That's
so that was pretty much episode 1. It was
that
Christmas
was it.
music.
Back in it, we published it back in like the very first week of January, I think 2021.
So like most things in our life, we're a week late.
Yes, we were. Yeah, we were.
But nonetheless, we got out some Christmas music.
Yeah, and then episode 2, like most trilogies, took a dark turn, I think.
Oh, it did? What was episode 2? I'm trying to remember.
Episode 2 was when I told the world how horrible radio is.
Oh, well, that hasn't really changed.
And how I
Just letting
hated
you
everything
guys know.
about radio. I mean, it was, so again, upon further listen, it was a lot of, I think, built up angst that needed to just get out. Maybe it was therapeutic. Maybe it was cathartic to be able to talk about it, to have a forum to say, everyone who's doing radio, you are messing up and not doing a good job. But that's what I did basically. And that was pretty much the whole episode. We were not kind to radio.
No, we weren't. I think I was kinder than you were.
You were pulling me back from the edge.
It's like, remember, we love this, Matt. This is why we started.
Yeah, it can be fun. And I was just like, nope, everything sucks about it. And you were like, wait, not everything. And I said, every loving thing. And you were like, all right, whatever.
And I was like, no, it doesn't. You're like, shut up.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. So that was episode 2. I don't know.
It was affectionately titled The One Where We Talk About Ourselves.
Yeah.
And we just talked about how much working in radio just didn't do it for you.
No, and I think we did talk about ourselves. We talked about how we got into radio and what brought us from college radio into commercial radio and that sort of thing. But primarily,
is that where I told you how I got my radio name, Jayce the Ace?
No, you didn't tell me that until like 3 or 4, I think.
Was it 3 or 4?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny. You would think, since that's my favorite subject is myself, that's when I would have told you when I was talking about myself. I can do multi-episodes about talking about myself. So now that we've talked about me, what do you think about me?
But that was episode 2. So like it was the Empire Strikes Back of our series.
We turned dark. Proof Rock got frozen in carbonite. I had to go rescue him.
Can they ever get out of this, and will they get robotic arms? And we did. Yep. On to episode 3. Everything works out.
And that's the one where we talked about 2021, kind of. I think we ended up talking more about 2020. How that sucked, too.
Yeah, we did. We talked about 2020 a lot, and we talked about keto a lot, which apparently I gave all the wrong information about.
That's right. From the research department in your household, under the door was slid a note that said, shut up, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. And so I just quickly said, okay, everything I told you was a big lie. Thankfully not on keto anymore, and I'm loving it. I hate keto. It's not fun or enjoyable. It sounds fun in theory because you eat cheese and bacon and
who doesn't think that sounds fun?
Yeah, cheese and bacon.
Vegans might not like it.
Right, exactly. Or if you're lactose intolerant, it would be miserable. But for someone who can eat whatever, then it's like a free, it's a free for all. But it's not fun. So thankfully not on keto anymore, and thankfully we're not in 2020 anymore.
Did you lose weight though? That was the point. Did you lose a bunch of weight? Are you down to your bikini weight again?
I mean, I can rock a pretty good 2-piece, but it's not like a low cut 2-piece. It's a conservative 2-piece.
A conservative 2-piece.
Yeah.
Like the bottom is pants and the top is a burqa.
Yes. Yes. But I'm
It's
getting
still a
older now,
two-piece.
Yeah,
Still a
technically.
2-piece.
Technically, I'm in a bikini.
You're into modesty these days.
Exactly.
I think it's funny that you bring up lactose intolerance. That may come up again later on.
Yeah. And then, we also did talk about wearing our wives' pants. That was the other thing that came out in episode 3 that we need to.
Excuse me, I don't remember this.
You don't remember this at all?
No, I don't. I don't remember a discussion about wearing my wife's pants.
Well, then
considering
I feel like
I'm not married, this is very interesting.
I feel like we should just move along then.
Then we might just want to move on. I do have as your friend at work says, I do have a person of interest. I don't want to shortcome my my living situation at home, but technically I do not have a wife.
No, we were talking about an old Pepsi commercial. Drink Diet Pepsi and your pants will fit. And that's what got. Do you remember this now at all?
No,
remember this?
I don't remember. I don't remember talking about it.
So if you're listening and you haven't checked out episode 3, then there is a really funny part about wearing women's pants. So,
when did I bitch about Skechers? Was that 2 or 3?
That was 2. That was episode 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That was 2. That was at the end. You pulled us out of the dark abyss with the funny
with talking Skechers. About my story about having to buy. And by the way, just for an update, those Sketcher boots, fantastic. They were
good.
They were. I don't know what I was pissing and moaning about.
Yeah.
But they ended up being very nice. They were good for walking in the winter.
Are you trying to get free Skechers now?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Skechers, if you're listening, he's a size 12.
I'm a size 11.
Oh, sorry.
An 11. I'm not a 12. But in everybody's hearts, I'm a 10.
11. Exactly.
All right. So episode 3 is the one where we talked about. Is that the one where we talked about 2021? Is that the one where we coined the phrase that 2020 was? How did we put it? It was like 2020 is like the dick pic you didn't ask for.
I don't remember that one now.
That came up in somewhere because my buddy texted me and he's like, "That's fantastic. 2020 is the dick pic you didn't ask for." And I was like,
boy.
I don't remember saying that, but we'll go with it. Sure, why not?
Yeah. Now that's something that we should snip out and put on a YouTube clip.
Yeah.
Just the snippet to give people a little taste, and then they'll download episodes.
Yeah,
that's how they do it.
Oh, they say stuff like this all the time, and then they'll be like, "David Bryan, what?"
Yeah, exactly. David Bryan. You're talking about that legend?
The Tony Award-winning guy?
Exactly. What else has he done? Anything?
So that's episode 3, I think. And then 4, we went to the one we called it the one where we used an outline because we thought, hey, we should probably try to get professional here.
Right.
And maybe outline a show.
Yes.
As you can tell, that's working well for us.
Yes. And it was weird because we called it the one where you try to use an outline, but it was really all about sports.
Oh, we did the sportsing.
Yeah. Huey Lewis and the News had sports as their 3rd album. We waited till our 4th episode to talk all about our favorite subject, sports.
Oh, and is that where I talked about I didn't like Green Bay? And then I tried to teach you who you should and shouldn't like living in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, which is, we might need an update because now it's, at least at this recording, it's all Sweet 16, Elite 8, all that stuff. The bracket stuff is going on now.
Oh, as soon as the Spartans fell out, I was done. That was like day 1. So I was out.
It's all over the place, and the Twitter is lighting up with brackets. And the cool thing is that there are brackets for everything, not just basketball, but everything. There is one on Twitter with superheroes, and you can it's like single elimination, which superhero is the greatest. And I think it ended up being between Superman, which, all right.
It's in the name.
And Scarlet Witch. And Scarlet Witch won.
See, all right, that's totally dependent on the date and time. Because
you might be right.
A few years ago, not a soul Who? Well, I shouldn't say not a soul. There's plenty of comic book guys who are like, well, actually, I know exactly who Wanda Maximoff is, and her brother. And oh, good night, dear. I'm recording at home. My daughter's going to bed. She just walked around the corner with a sign that said, "Good night. I love you."
Good night.
Yeah. So, all right, now we can get really blue. My kids are in bed.
Excellent. Finally.
But going back to my comic book nerd voice,
Mm-hmm.
Wanda Maximoff and her brother Peter Maximoff. But if it wasn't for the Avengers movies, nobody would know who she is besides us folks who actually read comic books.
Sure. And WandaVision is helping a lot. People are watching WandaVision.
That's exactly where I was going
Mhm.
with this, is
Yeah.
people know who she is now because of that in WandaVision, and that was such a huge hit.
However,
I haven't watched an episode yet, but
you won't get a nerd voice out of me. That's just my normal voice. But I have to point out that Scarlet Witch did do a snap like, what's his name? For some reason, I want to
it's the
say
House
Gandalf,
of M, right?
but it's not. Yeah, and she
You
basically
mean
made.
Thanos?
Thank you. She made all the mutants disappear, which is
No,
pretty
she
powerful
took away their
stuff.
power. Will you represent this correctly?
Yeah.
She didn't make them disappear per se.
Okay. You're right.
She made
That's
their
what I meant.
powers go.
No more mutants is what she said, and then there were
Yeah.
no more mutants. So she's pretty. She could say no more Superman, right?
Technically, she could.
Because he's vulnerable to magic.
He is, but he's also in the DC universe, so therefore, I don't know if her magic transcends from one
She'd
book
need to
aisle
purchase
to the
like some
other
sort
book
of
aisle.
she'd need to get some sort of an adapter. She'd have to purchase it like Radio Shack
Yeah.
to adapt.
They'd have
the
to write
DC. Yeah.
They'd have to write a crossover between companies, and right now, I don't think Marvel would do that because they're king of the box office right now. They're not going to play nice.
It's kind of weird that comic books, that's sort of a weird concept when you have somebody in a comic book, and not to get too far on a tangent like your daughter thinks we do all the time, but if you have someone in a comic book who could, with a word, make whatever she wanted happen, why would she ever fight a normal battle ever? Like, why would she ever zoom little solar flares or fireworks out of her hands, or put someone
Cast
in a
magic missile?
Yeah,
whatever
or
it is
put
she
someone
does.
in a fake box? Or why wouldn't she just say, no more Magneto, no more shark with laser on its head? Like, whatever it was she was fighting, she could just say, yeah, you're gone.
No more ill-tempered sea bass.
Yeah, right. Why doesn't that? I
don't
guess
know.
because it wouldn't be an interesting comic book, but still, they temper back her powers to suit the situation. I'm gonna have to investigate that further.
Yeah, and did she actually just say no more meat? Didn't she have to cast? I don't know. I didn't read all of that, so
First,
I'd
she
have
had to cast Magic Missile first, and then she attacked the darkness,
she attacked the darkness.
and then she said no more mutants. That's how it
Then
worked.
she said no more mutants. Got it. So
she
that's
rolled
how,
a 6-sided die against mutants, and it came up 6.
So if I had to, I wonder if my favorite superhero was even on that list, because I didn't see that. My
There
favorite
was some-
superhero is
What?
Reed Richards, by the way.
Really?
Mr. Fantastic. Yes. Well, his name is Mr. Fantastic.
Well,
And he's
okay.
the smartest. He's the smartest person in the Marvel universe. At least I think so. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know the canon, and everybody be like, "Oh no, the Brainiac guy." He's
They were both on Superhero Jeopardy, and actually, who won was.
and it was a tie. But Reed,
Yeah.
if you don't know, Reed Richards is the leader of the Fantastic Four,
And he's stretchy.
and he's stretchy, and he's called Mr. Fantastic.
Instead of Mr. Stretchy, which would have been
Yeah.
a less cool name.
There's one I think in DC is called Rubber Man.
There's Elastic Man and Plastic Man and Elongated Man.
That's it, not Rubber Man. I
No,
think
no.
Rubber Man. I think he was the mascot when we were teenagers in high school.
He was. That's true.
I'll let you do
I
with
think
that what
there
you
was
want.
I think there was even a song. No, that's Trojan.
That was
Man.
Rubber Band Man.
That was Trojan Man. Is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, you're thinking of Trojan Man, not Rubber Man.
I do love
Rubber Man is
Band
like
Man.
he's like the GoBots of contraceptives to Trojan Man. like Trojan Man's the Transformers. Rubber Man is the GoBots. Equally effective, but not as cool.
And don't even mention the villainous Sheepskin Man, who was always trying to foil their plans.
All right. Well,
what were we talking about?
I think episode 4. That was the one where we try to use an outline. If you notice, we don't have an outline for this one.
No.
And just so everybody knows, that is our least listened to episode. So people
really
don't want us to be professional.
Yeah, it's I don't know if maybe that just happens. Up 4th episodes are bad. I don't know, but give it a listen. It's entertaining. There are some really cool parts. I think
I agree.
It's not as much of a hit maker as Sports by Huey Lewis and the News, because that album was like every song was solid gold. But if you're interested in sports, or you're a person who isn't interested in sports, you'll get something out of it.
Yes.
There you go. It's infotainment.
Right. It's infotainment.
Yeah. Big episode next. Big one. So
the big one next, episode 5. We're halfway through the 10. Was the one where the doc is in, and we interviewed our good friend Jeff, also known as the Doc of Rock. We were at Radio X back in the day, and it was just fun talking to him, because it was I think that one went out January 30th, so that would have been about a month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we were back in time a year in 2020, that would have been a month and a half before we went up to Radio X and did our All Request Saturday Night reunion show.
It would have been a month and a half after that we did that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we did the show after. Yeah. All right, now we're getting caught in time continuum issues.
Wait, so
let's just say it was almost a year.
Yeah, right. It was. That's true.
I wonder how they would feel if we posted the audio, because we have that.
You mean what do you mean?
Of our show that we did. That
so put a show within a show? Oh,
yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Meta with it.
Well, we couldn't do the music. That would be the thing.
No, what I meant is like on Twitter, Instagram, all of the different social media places. If we hosted that somewhere, people could listen to it.
Yeah, I'm doing that today. That'll be up on our Twitter. So if you want to listen to our reunion show that was streamed on WUPX in Marquette, Michigan, there's going to be a link on our Twitter, because there's nothing saying we can't at least put a link. It's not like we're selling it.
Maybe this will be our first cease and desist letter.
Well, as long as it happens, I don't care. As long as it happens, I don't know. It doesn't have to happen soon. It just got to happen. But this was the first time we did an interview, and I think
it was the first time we did an interview, and it was almost like the first episode where we're like, hey, is this thing working? Is your mic working? Because we went through all kinds of technical issues. I think Jeff ended up talking to us on like a Mr. microphone that was wired through an old Emerson tape deck with the aux out into his computer.
And there was an easy bake oven involved, I think, too.
Yeah. And he had, as long as the light was on, he could broadcast.
Yep. He sounded great, though, for all that stuff.
Yeah. And it only took us like a half hour to get that working.
Right.
We're pros, I swear.
Sometimes it would be really cool. I think people, not all people, but I think some people would get a kick out of having access to the things we say before you say, hey, now we're recording. Because sometimes it's really, really amusing.
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, we're not recording then, so it is lost to the ether. But it's fun stuff. I highly recommend listening to us try to get our shit together.
I highly recommend it, too. I believe that's our first shit, by the way. We have 9 more to go.
Oh, shit. We got to keep moving.
Oh, there's 2. Here we go. But yeah, in that one, we talked with Jeff about why he started, why he joined,
how we met. We talked about songs.
We did talk about songs, but I want to say one thing, and I don't remember if we talked about this, but I don't remember if it was you or him that created this. I'm pretty certain it was him. He created one of my favorite, if not my most favorite, show flyer of all time when we worked at Radio X.
What was it?
It was the All Request Saturday Night Live one where he took Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, yes.
And
he did that.
This is like before Photoshop was really a thing. So he had to like use scissors.
Yeah, it really was. He was an artiste.
And he made an all request Saturday Night Flyer with your head on the woman's body.
I was the lady.
And his.
Yeah, he was John Travolta.
And they were comically the wrong size. And
he was all really cool, though.
He looked cool, and you looked ridiculous.
I think he might have spent a little more time perfecting his head to body ratio.
Shocker, really?
But he did a great job. It was amazing.
The writing was in ransom letter, it was like cut out or something like that. And
if he still has that, we need to post that up on Twitter and Instagram. We need to have that available for people to see what we're talking about, because us describing it doesn't do it justice.
No.
It was really fun. He did a great job.
And it was all in black and white, so it was totally DIY. It looked like an old band flyer from somewhere, and it was ridiculous, and it was hilarious, and it was arguably my favorite show flyer that was ever made.
That was a good one, definitely. But we didn't talk about that. We forgot to mention it. Every time we do an interview, someone says, "Oh, I forgot to mention this." So it's just raring for a follow-up interview, I suppose.
Well, I mean, we were all there for at least 2 years. Most people were there, if not more. I want to say I was there longer than 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you come up, there's so much stuff that once you get talking, like later on, you remember. It's like going to an interview for a job. Yeah. You get done and you go home and you're like, oh, I should have brought up that.
That's true. That's a really good analogy.
My biggest weakness isn't I work too hard.
I try too hard.
My biggest weakness is I care about all the other employees too much. Said no person ever.
Sometimes I do too much work all at the same time, and it's too good.
Oh,
that's my struggle.
Yeah. If I hear that in an interview, I just check out. I'm like, yeah.
So we talked about, that's the first time I think that we really talked about songs that made us think of Radio X.
Yep. And I do not have his list in front of me.
No, I don't either, but it was a good list. He had a couple songs that I hadn't thought of in a long time. And I think it's like one of my favorite parts about interviewing someone is getting to catch up with them and see what's going on with their lives and stuff, but B, hearing them like share that sort of shorthand that we all have. Like when all you have to do is mention a song and everyone's like, oh man. And all these memories of that come flooding back. It's pretty funny.
I mean, we keep making the joke in many of our episodes, but if you say Bumblebee Tuna and you were there during the time that we all worked there, everybody's like, oh man, but we all know it. And it brings us right back to that moment in time. So as much as we groan, we also smile at the same time.
Yep. Yeah. I smile every time I hear that song.
I haven't. We've mentioned it so many times. I haven't even went back and listened to it.
Yeah.
I should. I went back and listened to Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck, even though that one makes me groan. And like I said, it's actually a good song when somebody isn't requesting it every hour on the hour.
Not bad. Small doses.
Small doses.
Mm-hmm. So that was episode 5. Episode 6, we followed up with another great interview.
The one where Sluice becomes more than just Matt's roommate.
Sluice.
He
has been. I've known him since I was in junior high. So he and I have been pals for a long, 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 long time. So it was cool to talk to him about something that we didn't really talk. Like we talk about like, hey, how you doing? What are you up to? How was your job? And so to talk about Radio X was cool because we hadn't really done that in a while. So that was really neat. And to hear his perspective on some of the things, because he was in the shit. Like he was doing some, that's 3. He was doing some like managerial stuff.
Yeah. He was like a manager.
Mm-hmm. He had to deal with things that really a college student shouldn't really have to deal with at that point.
And out of many of the people I knew there, like him, he was a good pick to be a manager.
Yes.
Stone Cold, good pick to be a manager.
Yeah. Yep.
Bridget, good pick to be a manager.
Yeah.
And I think the other one that really sticks out in my head. So if I'm leaving somebody out, I apologize. But Rudy Dog.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Rudy always seemed, until I got to know him, I was like, that guy's business. Like you have to take him seriously, like almost like a pseudo parent. Obviously he was just a college student, but I was just like, okay, I have to pay attention to what he's saying. He knows what he's talking about.
And then I realized how much he liked the Dead, and I was like, I don't have to pay attention to a damn thing he says.
Right, and Fish.
Oh, that was my introduction to Fish.
Me too. Me too.
And
but I actually really like Fish now.
I loved You Rude, but I do not like Fish.
Oh, because of him, I have taught my kids Fish songs. Like we listen
Fishy,
to
Fishy, Fishy by Ernie from Sesame Street. No?
Fee and Contact and Mango Song. Like we listen to, and if you're not a Fish fan,
Chalk Dust Torture. Bouncing Around the Room.
Bouncing Around the Room. Love that song.
Now, I will say this much. I make fun of bands like Fish, but those guys are ridiculously talented.
Yeah,
it's
they
just
really
not
are.
my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's and where I lose the thread is when they go into like a 55-minute jam. Then I'm bored. But their songs individually are pretty good. So anyway,
my actual
Rude
introduction
Dog,
to them was Down with Disease, because that was all over rock radio before I got up to Northern.
Yeah,
and, that was my introduction to Fish, and then I was like, whoa, what is going on here? And then, being the metal guy, I was like, oh, I can't no Fish.
No one can know that I know this.
Yeah. Do you like Fish? No, I'd love to eat them during Lent on Fridays, but that's about it.
Scent of Mule, all these. Now I'm thinking of all these Fish songs.
Fish Food was good though. The ice cream, Fish Food.
Fish Food was that was a good ice
delicious.
Cream. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But that has nothing to do with Sluice. We went from Sluice to being a manager.
Also likes Fish. He, I think, has the.
Is this real, or are we just making things up now?
I think he has the Junta album. I'm not sure. He likes Fish. He's not a super fan, but he likes some music by Fish. And
honestly,
he'll definitely correct me if that's not true.
I don't know if you're lying right now. Is that even a real album?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm lying either, though. He might not be. I think he has some eclectic CDs, or at least at the time when CDs existed, he had some eclectic CDs. So he might have it.
Sluice was the kind of guy that, in interviewing him, if you listen to what we were talking to him, you probably would. You can probably pick this up too. Is if you just looked at Sluice and then you just judged a book by the cover, you'd be like, nah, he's not a college radio guy. He's not into that.
Yeah,
but he totally would surprise you then.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And he was so much fun to go to the bar with.
He sent me a text, and I wish I had easily access to it, but he sent me a text like yesterday or the day before, and it was, hey, how many of these bands do you think played at the Love Pad? And it was a list of bands that were playing at some local bar near him, I think. And the names of the bands were ridiculous. And I'll have to find them, but they were so funny, and they were definitely bands that would play at the Love Pad. And at the bottom of the list, like they were all bands that none of us had ever heard of, but at the bottom of the list, Local H. That's the only. Seriously. And I was like, well, I know one of those, and that actually played a lot when we were, ironically, that played a lot when we were at Radio X. He was like, what? And so I reminded him who Local H was, and he was like, oh, that's weird. But yeah, it was he's still thinking about good band names for the Love Pad.
And he was the one who also reminded us of the Bromers.
Yes.
The Mighty Bromer Tones.
Sometime we have to turn that into a podcast game that we share with everybody. But it's in a nutshell, if you didn't tune in, basically we would pass the time in the studio by taking band names and replacing a word from their name with the word Bromer. There's a gentleman named Mark Bromer, and sorry that I'm outing you, Mark, but it kind of goes with the story. I have to. And we would take band names and put his name into them, and he was hip to this, so he knew that we were doing it. But it would be so fun to just make band names up with, like the Mighty Bromers, for example.
The Mighty Bromer Tones.
Mighty Bromer Tones. There you go. Yeah, that's even better. Yeah. Brimful of
the Metalla Bromers.
The Metalla Bromers, yeah.
Bromer
we could do
Death.
this all day.
Yes.
We could do this all day.
I'm just surprised that you guys remembered that. And of course, the bands at the Love Pad. My favorite one was the Bleeding Martha Stewarts.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite band that ever played at the Love Pad. Right. I can't believe you don't remember Laser Day. I'm almost offended that you don't remember Laser Day. I don't
remember it at all.
You were there. Sluice was there. Bridget was there. I'm sure more people were there that I'm not even remembering.
So we filled the room with
Like, all right,
string.
you know that thin silver ribbon? It's not like really wide, but it's ribbon.
Yeah.
And somebody either found a roll of it or somebody left a roll of it somewhere. I don't know how do college kids get anything, but we like tied it to something and then we just strung it all over. And it was like you had to get through the room without touching the lasers.
That sounds fun and miserable at the same time.
And it sounds like something we totally would have done.
Yeah. I'm glad I participated, even though I have no memory of it. But that's not unusual for me. There are a lot of...
It's not unusual for a lot of college kids, just letting you know.
I know, but for someone who didn't really do hard drugs and didn't drink all through college, it's weird how much I have forgotten. It's just really weird.
Yeah. There's a lot I've forgotten too, but there's a lot of stuff that I remember too. And I'm like, why do I remember that? And most of it is not stuff I'm going to talk about on a microphone. Me too. But it's like, why do I? That's funny that I remember that, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, my brain decides things independently of how I would want him to remember.
And actually, I'm going to wait till we get to episode 9 to bring this other point up of something I was right about. And just know that that's coming.
Oh, so that's that was just some teaser shit that
it was
just gave us.
It was a teaser shit. So there's four.
You writing them down? Okay.
No, I'm not. So I'm counting on you. Okay, so that was episode 6, the one where Sluice becomes more than just Matt's roommate. Yeah. And there's so many, and there's so many stories about, like we said, about each one of us that we're not going to talk about on microphone. And
I know,
since you and Sluice live together, I have so many stories that I'm not going to talk about that I remember with Sluice. Because he was also friends with my ex-wife. So I would see Sluice at your apartment.
Oh, yeah.
But he would also come by, like when we were living together, he'd come by and visit too and hang out because he was also friends with my ex-wife.
Right.
Who was also, who I dated in college. So Sluice was a part of many other parts of my college life outside of the radio station. And I have to ask him again. There's a picture of him and I on Senior Crawl that I'm like, I should post this. Mm-hmm. He gave it to me, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to post it or not into the public. It's on the private thing.
You should just pixelate his face or put like an emoji face on it instead.
I'll do a face swap. They'll never know it's us. I'll put my face on your body and your face on my body.
You have to do that anyway, even if you just show me and nobody else. That I have to see. That would be fascinating. I have a Sluice story. Hold on. So when we lived in the dorms, and the reason this is irrelevant, I'll get to. We lived in the dorms, and I had the CD that is now celebrating this year 25 years. It's the 25-year anniversary of Stone Temple Pilots' Tiny Music, Songs from the Vatican Gift Shop. You know that album?
I do. Yep.
I bought that CD, and I played it loud. And then after I played it a couple times, everyone in our dorm hall would come over, knocking on the door, banging on the door, and ask us to play it with our door open really, really loud at random times throughout the day. You could have bought the CD. You could have got the CD free from Columbia House. I mean, it wasn't like I owned the only version of it.
It's not free. It was a penny, my friend.
Right. So I guess, they didn't want to spend the penny and commit themselves to a life of crime.
Bad credit.
So they just asked us all the time to play that. It was Big Bang Baby. That was the single that came out. And they would have us play that song all the time. And it was cool. Like you felt like you were a cool guy because they were like, hey man, play that cool song. And we would play it. But I just realized that CD is 25 years old this year. I know. 25 years. It's crazy.
All right, so let's not talk about things that make me feel that way anymore.
Sorry. Let's get on to something more positive.
So we're going to move on to episode 7.
One of my favorites.
The one with a fake baby, weird lyrics, and we agree that the husband did it.
Oh, so good. I've listened to this one all the way through, I have to admit, and I know that maybe is conceited, but I had such fun recording it, and there were so many parts that I just laughed about again the second and third times that it was a really good episode. So if you're new to us and you want a really good solid podcast episode, I would say start at 7 and then work your way around in no particular order to the rest of them. But 7 was so much fun.
And there's a little bit of stuff for everybody.
Yeah, there's a little something for everybody. I agree.
One of the funnier comments I got from a listener who happens to be somebody I also know.
Yeah.
And so if this might offend some people, and if it does, I apologize. It's not meant to be offensive. But here we go. He's like, I've thought I've heard a lot of white things in my life. And then when I heard you reciting Ice Ice Baby,
I know.
That might be the whitest thing I've ever heard.
It probably will be for a long, long time.
And it's not because I was reciting the lyrics per se. It's because I was singing them like it was a campfire. and
Jayce,
it was sung badly.
And Jayce, everybody who is tuning into this episode knows that because I laughed hysterically adding that to our new show intro. So that's what you get to hear whenever you tune into our podcast now. That's right.
That's right.
I had to. It was the best. It was the best.
Oh,
thing.
It was good. But
How
there
was
was
that
a lot
fake baby, by the way? Did the fake baby survive?
The fake baby did
out.
survive.
Okay.
And my son got a B+ on the project.
Nice.
So the fake baby survived, but there must have been some dings because he didn't get an A.
Wow. Now I'm kind of curious what went wrong.
Me too, because my son is he's a man of few words. So basically, I got out of him. I says, "Hey, how did that project go where you had to take care of the baby all weekend?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Good." I said, "Okay. What grade did you get?" B+.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
There we go. Baby didn't die, obviously.
Baby didn't die.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
No, but now I want to know.
Yeah.
I would like to talk to those teachers, like on average, how many of the fake babies die?
Next time you do like a parent-teacher conference, it's got to be all 100% fake baby centric. Like, let's get down to brass tacks here. What happened to the robot baby? Tell me everything. I want to see charts and graphs. I want to see everything.
Because you're getting feedback. It's like electronically attached to a tether. So they must download like the baby's essence when it gets back into the school.
Everything. That baby probably recorded you recording the podcast.
Well, and he only got a B+. I'm a little offended now.
All right. Well, we'll have to find out because I'm dying to know what happened to that baby. And if that baby is off to like, robot toddler school now.
It's being a fake baby for somebody else, teaching him how to parent. It's funny though, because I'm watching him do this all weekend long. He did a really good job.
Yeah.
And, the fake baby cries and the fake baby does all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I guess this is probably as close as you're going to get them to being a parent. But I'm here to tell you, children, that a fake baby doesn't only cry once at night.
Right.
No. That would be too easy. Real babies, they cry sometimes constantly at night.
Right. Yeah.
And only at night when they know you have to sleep.
Exactly.
Because although babies are precious, they can definitely make you not think they're precious for moments in time. That was about the most politically correct way I could put it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully the robot baby is okay. But that was
a
good
poop
episode.
is real. The poop is real with real, but no, not with a fake baby.
Like,
no, with real babies.
How do they do that?
The poop is real. The puke is real. Everything else is real. It's not just you have to change its fake baby diaper and it's magically the poop is gone.
No, wait,
nope.
That would wait. This would change the course of society if instead of having a robot baby that fake pooped, have a robot baby that has actual real poop. Nobody would have kids until after college. They would be disgusted.
You'd like to think that, but you and I both know.
I mean, okay, some would. But still, if you had to deal with actual excrement, now that begs the question, who's going to, install it into each robot baby every semester?
Hey, they do fecal transplants, so somebody does it.
So someone is doing it. I feel like this we might be onto something. This is going to be a patent that we need to work on.
You don't want to be the kid who gets the malfunctioning fake baby with real poop. Just saying.
Because there's actuators and valves and pressurized tubes that would have it come out at a reasonable pace unless something went wrong.
And if it goes, oh man, nope.
Yeah.
All right, I'm out.
Yes.
So that's episode 7. It was a fake baby.
I have to say I got probably the most feedback personally on that episode. Just another really quick capper because the songs that we talked about were kind of ridiculous and also super popular, and they wanted to follow up with me about, well, what about this? And did you think about this? And this is what they were really saying. And you guys sounded ridiculous saying these lyrics, and yes to all of those things. But it was fun to hear everybody's feedback on, and that was like before the most feedback I got was the David Bryan thing. I got a lot of feedback about David Bryan being a Tony winner versus Bon Jovi's keyboard player. And then since then, the most feedback I got was the song lyrics.
I actually got some David Bryan feedback, not from the man himself, but one of my son's friends is like, so apparently your dad doesn't like Bon Jovi.
Oh, well, that's missing the mark a bit.
I was like, well, how did he get that? I says, we never said we didn't like Bon Jovi. We were just talking about David Bryan.
Yeah.
The keyboardist from Bon Jovi. I don't know how he construed that we didn't like Bon Jovi.
Right.
But so I know other children, this is great. We're saying all this shit, and these kids are listening to this. That's 5.
Kids. Excellent.
And by the way, the reason that we agreed that the husband did it is because I want to say we were talking about my love of true crime podcasts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that's why that's in there.
Yeah.
But trust me, the husband did do it.
I mean, 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
I would say.
So on to episode 8.
Episode 8.
Where Stevie Wonder is blind.
I loved this one too. I had so much fun with this one. It was like a double whammy of super fun. And not that I don't have fun in the other episodes, but it was a double whammy of minute to minute. I was entertained by you or by myself the entire time.
Yeah, because that was the one where I actually did some homework for once. And put together a bunch of music conspiracy theories. I even learned something that Andrew WK is not the real Andrew WK. He's actually Steve Mike.
Obviously,
or
Steve
so
Mike.
They say.
Obviously.
So they say.
I think so. And I did get a rando from Twitter who said I had never heard some of those conspiracy theories. And I apologize for calling you a rando, but I can't remember what your Twitter handle is because I don't remember anybody's Twitter handle because nobody's named Mike Smith. They're always named, I once walked into a bar at 11:30. Like those are all their names on Twitter, and I can't possibly remember your names. So I'm sorry. Nobody has a normal name on Twitter.
My favorite thing on Twitter is when you come across a person who thinks they have like a super funny name, but then when they go to put it in, they realize somebody else had that name before them.
Oh.
So there's like an original Mike Oxlong, and then there's like Mike Oxlong 22.
22.
And then
right.
there's Mike Oxlong 69.
Right.
Get it?
Good one.
Yeah. But those are my favorite ones. Like, so you didn't even go back to the drawing board. You're just like Mike Oxlong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone on Twitter has either it has a name with numbers on it, or it's like a phrase that cuts off. So I apologize. Thanks for tuning in. I'm super excited that you responded to that episode, and keep listening, but I don't remember your name. And so I apologize. But
yeah, thanks, Twitter rando.
Yeah. You're awesome though. I love Twitter randos. I'm just never going to remember who they are.
I also learned in that one that Chris Christopherson is very accomplished.
He
even
is.
For being a lizard.
He's got the perfect lizard person life.
He does.
He's doing it absolutely right.
Was he in a movie with Sissy Spacek? Did we talk about this?
Probably. Wouldn't you be if you were a lizard person? I would be.
We'll just say that he was. I mean, we just said he's a lizard person, so we can just make up whatever we want.
Yeah. Yeah. We've already broke the ice on that.
Yeah. Since he's a lizard, didn't he invent radio too?
He did.
He did. That was back when it was good, though.
He's done a lot of stuff and still stayed relatively under the radar, which is if you're a lizard person, that's exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, he's doing it right.
You don't want to go up to the top because then everyone's gunning for you, and you have to make sure you're always in the shadows when you go back to your lizard form because there's always someone gunning for that number one spot.
You just want to kick back.
Yeah.
Eat some flies.
Yeah. Sit on the beach.
Just be a lizard for a while. Sun on a rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But
Or maybe you
he's
have
doing
one
it
of those
right.
rocks that you plug in and you just sit on it. You don't need the sun. You just need that warmth for your
That's how you know
cold,
you're
cold
in the
blood.
company of lizard people is if you go to a beach and there's a bunch of people sitting on warm rocks, you're like, I see you, lizard people.
Yeah.
And
You're
I know
not
what you're
fooling
doing.
anyone.
I respect the game, so I'm not going to out you.
But I know.
But I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I think we were doing a good public service telling people that he was a lizard person because
we didn't say he was bad. We just said he's a lizard person.
No, he's one of the better lizard people, frankly.
Yeah. Wrote some
He's
good
minding his own
songs.
business. Yeah.
Yeah. He was in the military. He was a contributor.
He's an earner.
Yeah. He's officially retired now, so he's just off living that lizard life.
Oh, yeah. That lounge lizard life. Oh. See what I did there?
And right there is where we're going to stop talking about that episode. Episode 8, the one where Stevie Wonder is blind.
Yeah.
So then we moved on to our next episode, which is our third interview. And let me say, it was the shit. It was a good interview. And I have to say that because in the disclaimer, I said we're going to talk about some shit.
7.
And that shit happened a long time ago.
Yep. That's true. You
7 and
did
8.
mention shit twice in that disclaimer.
I did. So there's 9. And we're at episode 9. But we interviewed our friend Jen. You probably know her as the Gentrix.
Gentrix. Yep. That was fun. She had she was another first because she played music that she wrote.
Yes.
And sang and performed, which was super cool.
She got 2 firsts. Music that she performed and sang when it was from way back when. I'm making us all sound super old, but way back when she was doing, 1932, when she was part of her solo group, Flashing Red Airplane.
There were airplanes.
Airplanes were a new thing back then, and it was red, and there was a cloud, so it was kind of flashing
in the clouds. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And but the other first that was on her episode was we actually got permission to play licensed music.
That's right. Thank you to Johnny at Fire Records again for letting us do that. That was neat. I
have listened to a bunch of half Japanese because of that episode. Oh,
really?
Yeah. I still stand by my comment saying if you wanted to give me a song that sounded like Radio X when we were there, that song that she had us play, I was like, yeah, this sounds like college radio.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. It isn't, I have to admit it wouldn't have been my first choice to break the bubble on playing music. It wouldn't have been that one. It wouldn't have been half Japanese. It would have definitely been Gentrix playing music. That was cool. But I don't know that if I had to pick some sort of commercially licensed like record, I don't know that would have been my first, but it was fun. I liked listening to it, and it was cool that we got to do it, and it was super cool that the actual record label gave us permission, so we're not going to get sued or anything.
And it was the other part that made it cool was that we asked her to, give us some important things that were important to her or made her reminded her of being there, and that was one of them.
Yep, it was very on brand for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And the homework she gave us.
Did you listen to Fields of Nephilim?
I have not listened to Fields of Nephilim yet.
Okay.
But I have it written down. Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, now you got to talk.
It was, I didn't listen to a lot of it. It wasn't my cup of tea, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I feel much older than probably you or Jen. So when I listened to it, I was like, okay. All right. That's music that's interesting, but not my cup of tea.
She had some interesting songs on her list of songs that reminded her of Radio X and totally threw me with some of them.
Yeah.
Totally threw me with some of them. Like when she said Blur's Song 2 was one of it, I was like, didn't see that coming.
You didn't that didn't make you think of Radio X?
It didn't make me think because what I remember Jen playing.
Oh, I see.
On the air.
Saying.
Like I remember Jen off air, of course.
Yes.
But what I remember Jen playing on air, I don't think I would have said Blur Song 2. Now I understand why it reminds her. It reminds me too. I'm on board with why it reminds her of that.
Right. Can't get away from it.
Yeah. but I would have never picked that to be in her list, and it was cool and surprising.
Definitely.
And there was one song that was on there, like I knew pretty much every song. Oh, the other song that cracked me up, and it's actually completely on brand, is Crazy Train. She was like, yeah, Crazy. Because I was on Thrash and Trash Tuesday, and she actually called in quite a bit because she was an old school metalhead before she got into what people would consider quote unquote college radio music.
Mm-hmm.
But she was an old school metalhead before. So she would call and request songs quite a bit.
Nice.
And but the one song that surprised that I didn't know on the list was Anna Ing by They Might Be Giants, which I was kind of upset with myself. I'm like, I should know that song.
I love that song. That's another band that I have tried to force my kids to like, because if not, it would be a sad state of affairs in my kitchen, because we like to listen to music in the kitchen, and that's, if it's not stuff that I like or that Mindy likes, it's stuff that they found somehow from other places, and it's usually Baby Shark or Pink Fong, or which sounds vaguely pornographic when you think about it, but
I don't even know what that is.
It's
Thank
a
God
kid's
my kids
thing.
Are older.
If you have kids and they have internet, and they're little, they have probably heard music from Pink Fong, Fong, not thong, but Pink Fong.
Please don't type that wrong, kids.
I know. And I mean, my kids both also know the thong song, don't get me wrong, but they listen to Pink Fong all the time, and it's nonsense, and I can't stand it. So I have to kind of guide them in the right direction of somewhat interesting and somewhat kid friendly music. So it's, They Might Be Giants are really right in that wheelhouse.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I actually tried. I think there was a period of time where I tried to keep it kid appropriate for my songs for my kids to listen to. And your kids are definitely still in that age range where I was doing that, but mine are old enough now that I'm like, here, listen to this. And they're coming to me with, hey, Dad, do you know who this is?
Right.
And rarely do I not know who it is. They're like, how do you know so much music? I'm like, this is all your dad did for years, was just listen to records.
This band called the Rolling Stones, Dad?
Oh, no, it's close to that. My middle son's favorite band is Pink Floyd.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
He's 13. Yeah, I'm looking forward to what happens next. He's like, Dad, I really love the song Echoes. And I'm like, no, you don't. Stop it. You don't like this.
No.
Here, listen to AC/DC. You like Camaros and beer. Cut it out.
And Dad, I also want an air freshener for my room. Is that cool? And a lock.
And a lock. So, what do you think of patchouli, Dad? I think you're going to live with your mother. That's what I think.
Drive me to the incense store, please, sir.
Yes,
and I'm going to need a black light.
Dad, could you take me to Backroom Obsessions?
There you go.
Or I guess he would just say Obsessions, not
There's
Backroom Obsessions.
Cut. Yeah.
Yeah. If you lived up in Marquette in the mid-90s, you know exactly what we're talking about. So, but this is the episode with the Gentrix. We had a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And I got back up on this, and so I could be right.
Okay.
It's my favorite thing to be.
Excellent.
Next to alive is right. So we had a discussion about where public safety was.
Oh.
And I was right.
Really?
It was across the parking lot from Radio X. So it was but what we couldn't remember, because I was talking to Bridget. I talked to her on the phone for a hot second the other day.
Yeah.
And she was like, no. She was like, I'm screaming at my radio.
Oh, she was listening. Awesome.
She was listening.
That's fantastic.
She's like, it did end up out towards where you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
At a later time, but it originally was across, and we think it was Grease Hall. We think that's what it was called. We're not sure. Because I know I lived in Spooner for a while. Spooner, I don't even know her. Nice. Anyways, yeah, that's joke never dies. But yeah, it was there. It was across the way, because I remember walking over there having to get the key.
Was it directly across from that tiny little parking lot? Wow.
Where we'd always get parking tickets for parking there.
Where the geese would attack you?
Yes, it was
Did you ever
across
get
there.
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Was it where that bear had climbed up a tree and they had to get it down with Twinkies?
No, that was farther down by Coyotes. That
Okay.
was
All
a
right.
little farther.
Now I know
down.
what you're talking about. I've triangulated where you're talking about. I get it.
Yeah, because across the parking lot, I want to say it was Grease Hall, and then Spooner was attached to it.
Hardly
Because
know.
I lived in Spooner for a while, and I
I
remember
remember that.
because I lived over there with fellow DJs. Empire
Mhm.
and Sneaky Pete lived in Spooner Hall too.
Didn't Stone Cold live there?
I think he did, but not when I lived there.
Oh, okay. So that's where public safety was originally,
over there,
and then it moved down to by the
And-
right place.
yeah, and then it moved over there, and that's great. But the important part is I was right. I told her thank you for that because I am going to bring that up multiple times. to her.
Wonderful.
So Jen, if you're listening, because I think she agreed with both of us because she was
being
great.
very diplomatic. About
Yeah,
it.
she was super diplomatic. So
Yeah.
I will include you.
She
We
didn't
were
want
right.
mom and dad to fight. She just wanted
Proof
us
was
to move
wrong.
on.
And if I remember correctly, didn't we have a key for something in the studio that was attached to a bowling pin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was like a gas station bathroom situation.
Was it for the bathroom? No.
No, because
It
that
was
was
it was to open the
public.
studio. Yeah, it was a bowling ball. Yeah, or a bowling pin. Yes, correct.
Like if you were there alone and you had to leave, you could shut the door and then you could still get in or something like that.
And it made a good weapon because you were walking by yourself out in the dark from way, way over by the right place.
No, that would never happen because it wasn't there to begin with. Maybe later on, but cars were invented by then, so you wouldn't be
Okay.
walking.
Yep, that's my mistake. It was pre-cars. That's where you were talking.
I remember one time, speaking of cars, I gave Vlad a ride home, and I had this old Chevy Corsica. It was an LTZ, so
Was
it
it
badass.
burgundy?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was burgundy. And he's like, "Wow, this is
coolest
a
of
really
all,
nice
really.
car for a college kid." He was impressed by my Chevy Corsica. I remember that.
Oh man.
He restores motorcycles now, so his
Does
modes
he really?
his modes of transportation are much nicer than that Chevy Corsica ever could be.
That's fantastic.
My sister used to call that my pink car because it was that Chevy maroon that would fade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so over time it faded
Right.
and it got this weird color. And my
Yep.
sister would be like, "Oh, Jason's got a pink Corsica." I'm
It's
like,
true.
"Shut up."
Little pink Corsica.
Yeah.
So okay, we've talked about every episode. We've established the fact that Jayce was right about one thing in 10 episodes. So kudos, Jayce.
I was right
We are
about multiple things, but specifically that
multiple things, and including, I have to point out that AC/DC got better when they got a different singer.
No.
So
No.
Let's move
That was-
swiftly along. Now that we've established those two important facts,
They were equally as good. There's no one nor better. They were equal.
so it's like a greater than or equal to sign in math. You know those
Just equal.
equal to or.
Like the fake
Probably
sugar.
greater.
It was equal.
So coming up, I have to talk about coming up because we have a couple different interviews that I'm excited about. And we have more than this, but I have talked to the one story. I have to just say the one story I've been dying to tell about radio, about college radio, I have been holding. And it kills me to not be able to talk to you about it. And you know the story, but Stone Cold Jim Bollinger is game for talking about our
He's
near-death
integral
experience.
to it. You have to do it.
He has to be here because I know that he'll be able to fill in gaps of my memory that I forget. And when you, dear listener, hear that he is going to be on the podcast, you have to listen to that episode because it's going to be terrifyingly fascinating. And that's the only teaser I'm going to say. But he's game for talking, so that's super exciting. And that's going to come up sometime season 2. Also, the
And
voice
I'm
of
mad
God.
that I couldn't go to that one. I am mad that I didn't go with you guys.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, to this day, I'm like, that was my moment, and I didn't go.
Yeah, exactly. And now
But you guys did, and that's the
we did.
important part. And we have the story.
It's a good story. Also, the voice of God the sound you heard whenever the station would go on the air after being off, after being static. Walt Lindela is going to be doing the podcast, and he's like an actual local celebrity. Like, he's probably the only famous person we'll ever have on the podcast, at least anytime
Locally
soon.
famous, yeah.
Yeah, so he has agreed that he would like to do it, which is super cool because I worked with him actually in commercial radio for a while too, so I can tell him how I think that commercial radio is horrible to his
face.
Cyber face, at least. It won't be his
Maybe
real
we'll have
face.
cameras by then, and you can do it actually really real digitized face.
But he's a local celebrity, so that's exciting that he's going to be on a future podcast in season 2. And I know we have a couple others that are have agreed to do it, which is super exciting because
we have all kinds of our old coworkers have agreed that they would like to come on at some point. And Josh has told me, Kent has told me, so those are just a couple more.
Yep, those
Spike,
would be awesome, excellent, very cool. And Spike, I have to say, Spike, since you listen, you every time you tweet, you are drinking, so there's a problem, Spike. I don't want to be the only one to tell you.
He is the editor-in-chief of a brewing magazine.
I know. It's so funny. Like, that's his job. So I totally get it. But I follow him on Twitter, and the only thing he tweets is, here's what I'm drinking. Here's what I'm drinking. Here's what I'm drinking. And that's it. So if you were to follow his thing, it would be like, okay, well, you're just always drinking. But it's his
sloshed.
job. Yeah, he has to do it. He doesn't even enjoy it. It's his
part
job.
of the job.
He just has to. So,
sir, you have to have another bougie IPA.
No,
fine.
I couldn't possibly. You have to. Okay,
you have
to.
I
will. Yeah.
They will not sell another sixer if you don't drink this IPA on camera and smile the whole time. Dance, monkey. Let's go.
So I'm hoping he's had a few before he starts recording an episode with us. That's my.
Well, maybe when we have Spike on, I'll have a few. I don't like IPAs, which. I just don't like IPAs.
Okay.
I like my beer cheap, cold, and domestic. Preferably free if we can work that out, but
So yeah, you'll have a few. He'll have a few. I'll be sober, and I'll drive us all home afterwards.
Yeah, it'll be like an old Thursday night, except for I don't think Spike ever went on Thursday nights. It was usually me, you, and Jeff.
Yeah.
Sometimes Stone Cold.
Mm-hmm. It'll be just like that, though.
At the wash tub.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
So we've got some good stuff coming up. And so what have you been listening to lately?
I'm glad you asked, because I went and I wrote a bunch of stuff down.
I have to ask first, have you listened to any complete bullshit?
I usually forget about those if I've listened to some complete bullshit, because I have.
Okay.
Plenty of it.
I just had to make sure we got 10 in there. So everybody's a winner now or loser, depending on how you lean.
Yeah, depending how you feel about that.
Yeah.
I have listened to some complete bullshit out there, but like I said, I usually forget about that stuff. What I have been listening to, and there's a couple things, but I wanted to bring these two up because it talks about supporting one of my favorite things to do, and it's two of my favorite artists.
Okay.
My birthday was last week. We're recording this March 27th or something like that.
Happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday.
And my birthday is on March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. And yes, in case you're wondering, I get asked this every year. So is your birthday always on St. Patrick's Day? Sometimes when I feel like being a dick, I just say, no. Why would you ask?
I like that. Well, because the reason I like that is because there are holidays that are not necessarily, but obviously St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day is on March 17th every year. Every year. Just so you know.
I dig that.
And every year it is my birthday. So
wait, so your birthday doesn't shift depending on the second Saturday of the month? Okay.
No, it's not like Easter.
All right, cool.
So for my birthday, I purchased and watched with my family Flogging Molly live from Ireland on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah.
Nice.
And I got the t-shirt and everything. And actually I just noticed when I was folding the laundry, so I got a concert package, and you join it online.
Wait, were they live at Molly Malone's?
No, because Molly Malone's is in Los Angeles, if I remember correctly.
Really?
Because that's where they got their name. Now, I might
Yeah.
not have this completely right. They got their name because the people are like, you just going to keep flogging Molly's your whole life?
Exactly.
And then they're like, that's a great name for a band. But I want to say that was in L.A.
Gotcha.
And did you know that his wife is from Detroit or the greater Detroit area?
Of course I didn't know that. That's
She
fascinating.
is. Yeah. So there's a little flogging Molly trivia for you. But
Excellent.
yeah, we watched it on my birthday. I figured that's fitting. St. Patrick's Day, flogging Molly, live from Ireland.
Definitely.
And so I got the ticket and the T-shirt. And I noticed inside the T-shirt where the tag normally is, it says flogging Molly live on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, 2021. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's cool.
And they were also sponsored by Bushmills. They kind of helped put it on, the whiskey folks.
Yeah.
I think it was Bushmills. I hope I got that right, because that could be a potential sponsorship.
Do people frequently give you beer or Ireland themed birthday presents?
No, thankfully, no.
Okay.
Because amazingly enough, and we'll talk about a little bit about the life of Jayce.
Yeah.
There was a lot of time until there was many years that I didn't even go to the bar on my birthday. Yeah, it's I don't know. I have a weird relationship with that whole thing, and especially since I became a man of a certain age, I don't celebrate my birthday as much. Everybody else celebrates it because why wouldn't they?
Plus, it's mayhem on
yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
It's kind of like New Year's Eve, which we jokingly will call it rookie night.
Right. Why would you subject yourself to that? I totally get it.
Everybody goes out and gets shit-faced, and then,
12.
So the Uber drivers, they make a good amount of money. This year, I'm sure nobody did, or not many people did, because around here, there's not a lot of bars you can go to.
Right.
So, but I just wanted to point that out because I bought their, virtual live, and I actually posted it to our Instagram site. So if you're on Instagram, you saw a picture of me virtually on stage.
I saw that picture. Molly. That was cool.
And
very cool.
But I did it because, well, one, I like them, and two, I like live music, and I really, really love concerts. And over this whole time, that's one of the things I've missed the most. So I've been trying to donate and buy these live streams to, my little bit to help the thing that I like keep going.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And that brings me to something else I've been listening to, and you listened to a little bit not too long ago. I actually bought Bryan Fallon is doing his album Painkillers, which was his first solo album, live from home, on April Fool's Day, and I bought the live stream for that.
Very cool.
Fun fact about that show is his Painkillers album. That was Amy and I went and saw him on the original tour supporting the Painkillers album a couple years, or probably about 4 years ago now, and he spoke to me inadvertently at that concert.
What?
He doesn't know it was me, but he was speaking to me because he stopped at one point. He was playing an acoustic guitar, and he was holding it very high up on his chest, kind of like country. There's a lot of country players that hold it up and they kind of play it from the end.
Yeah.
And he's like, why do, he kind of stopped and he was bantering with the audience. He's like, why do country players, like a lot of country players, play their guitar like this? And I yelled out, because it looks like they're holding a shotgun. And he's like, yeah. It was just like fell silent at the perfect time. And he's like, yeah, It does look like they're holding a shotgun. So if you didn't know it, Bryan Fallon, you did talk to me.
That's fantastic. Too bad that live recording didn't end up on an album or a CD or something.
Yeah, there was another funny story at that. I want to say it was that show because I've seen him a couple times with the Gaslight Anthem and solo. He was like, there was a part in the show where they kind of stop and he's talking to the crowd. And this girl starts yelling something. We were at St. Andrew's Hall, so it's not a very big place. And this girl starts yelling, and he's looking out. He's like, all right, hold on. He's like, come up here. And people are like saying something. He's like, no. This never happens to me. It's this like tall model, blonde, like out of a magazine looking girl. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I know you guys think this happens to people like me all the time. This never happens to me. So I'm talking to her. And it was just kind of funny. And she asked her to play a song or something like that. And then I just thought the interaction was very funny.
That's really cool. That's cool.
Those are two things. And the rest of my list I'll go through quickly. I
Okay.
was kind of listening to at the beginning when you joined our so we could get recording here. I've been listening to lots of REM lately.
Which makes me want to jump up and down and scream because they're my favorite band. Like,
yep, I remembered that. I was like,
favorite.
oh, Matt will dig this.
Yeah, my favorite.
This specifically on the playlist: Orange Crush, Radio Free Europe, Drive. So those have all been playing a lot. Metallica's Ride the Lightning, because we talked about Metallica last week, so I was listening to a little bit of that. And there's a YouTuber named Bradley Hall. Him and his friends did a open to close cover of Master of Puppets because it turned 35.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I think I got that right. I know they did a cover it. I think the 35th anniversary part is right. This band War on Women, if you're going to check them out, I would recommend the songs White Lies and Capture the Flag. And somehow, some reason, the song Pumped Up Kicks kept popping up in my playlist.
Nice.
By Foster the People.
I like that song too. That's cool.
And I learned this past week that I think Josh Gondelman is very funny. He was on Going Off Track. He's one of the writers for Desus and Mero.
Don't know what that is.
Yeah, apparently we're really supposed to because they're hilarious. So I got to go check them out.
All right. Well, cool. That's good stuff. So I have for what I listened to this week, I have a little bit of a bone that I have to pick with my favorite radio station. So I listen to WXPN out of Philadelphia, and they're really good. They're like a good format free sort of, they're a public radio. So they take donations, they're listener supported, but
You mean payola?
Yes. Yes. So they do a show every Friday, Funky Friday. And sometimes I even text you and say, hey, it's Funky Friday, because I always listen to it. And they play some of the weirdest and coolest and most fun funk music. And sometimes their idea of funk is a little bit weird, but it's always funky. Like, I mean, they'll Bootsy Collins and they'll play, D-Light, or they'll play Earth, Wind and Fire, but it's always like the funkiest versions of their songs that they'll play. And it's good music. And I always listen to it because it just puts you in a good mood. It's funk music.
Do they ever play Uptown Funk?
Yeah, they have. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, they'll put a lot of different.
It's not really funk.
Ideas of funk, but it just so happened this past Friday coincided with Diana Ross's birthday. So, and this was this was yesterday. So they started with Sweet Love Hangover, funk song. Yeah, I would give that. It's a little disco-y, but it's kind of funky.
Yeah, it leans heavily in the disco world, but I'll give them that one.
And then they proceeded to just play Supreme songs and Diana Ross solo songs. And it was literally the first 40 minutes of Funky Friday was all Diana Ross. And Diana Ross, I love you. You're very funky, but your music isn't all funky. And it was kind of annoying. And it was the one time when I'm like, why does this DJ get the freedom to do whatever he damn well pleases? Because he should be playing funk music.
Funk
that.
This.
And I was like kind of angry because I always am a proponent of the DJ being able to be free and do what they want. And sure, he was celebrating her birthday, but it was annoying. It was annoying to me because it wasn't. I think if your show is called Funky Friday, it should be on Friday and it should be funky. Those should be the only criteria. And he only had 50% of that. So I was annoyed.
In name only that week.
Yeah, I was kind of annoyed, but I still like the show. I'll still tune in next Friday and see if they redeem themselves. But also I have to point out that it was a guest DJ. It wasn't the normal Funky Friday guy. It was this other guy.
It was Diana Ross. It was
it was Tracy Ellis Ross, and she was celebrating her mom's birthday. So I guess it was okay. No, it was this other guy, and he is very musically literate, so he can definitely do a good funk show, but I think he might be a little bit more of a Motown fan, and he just decided to play way too much Diana Ross. So I was annoyed by that. But that was really the only thing that I wanted to mention that I've been listening to. A lot of the stuff that I have been listening to online are like those weird covers of, there's a guy, and I sent you the link to it, and I can't remember what his name was, but it was a guy who did a Metallica song in the style of Alice in Chains. Did you happen to listen to that, or did you not get a chance to listen to it?
I have not listened to it
so
yet. There was
weird.
something else you sent me that I was listening to.
It was so weird because it does sound like Alice in Chains, but it was, it was Master
For
of
Whom the Bell
Puppets, I think.
Tolls.
No,
No,
yeah,
it's
For Whom the Bell Tolls. There you go. And it was good, but it was very strange. So I'm always looking for cover songs. So I tune into those songs all the time when I go fall down the YouTube rabbit hole or whatever.
Yeah, I do that a lot too. Like, if you like this, you might also like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Next
then an
thing you
hour
know,
later,
2
goes
hours
by.
later.
Yeah, exactly. So I do have to do one more thing because we're already at an hour and a half, but I have to say one thing. So when we have 10 episodes in the sack and our listenership, we can kind of look and see like the people who are downloading, and some of the people we already know, and some of the people we don't know. And we can kind of take a look and see some of the places where people are downloading from.
Oh yeah. That's where I was headed right now.
I just wanted to kind of rattle some of them off just for fun, to thank them, to give them a shout out. Is that cool?
Go for it. Yeah.
So obviously some of the big ones: Ohio, Hamtramck, Michigan, Philadelphia. We've got a few listeners. Saginaw, we know who that is. Some people in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Jacksonville, Florida. Know who you are, Jacksonville. Malden, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I'm not sure who would be out there. Springfield,
Illinois. Don't know. Marquette, Michigan. Shout out to you. Thanks for listening. Bridget, probably that's you. LA. We got an LA listener. We've got a Minneapolis, Minnesota. Some more: Ann Arbor, Auburn Hills, Michigan, Columbia, South Carolina, Wilmington, Delaware, Claremont, Florida, Independence, Kansas, Oak Harbor, Washington, Clichy-les-de-France, which I think you think is a bot, but it could be a French person.
No, it was the Russian one I said was a bot.
Okay.
I was like, oh, look, we have a bot listening too.
We've got Giddings, Texas, Scandia, Alhambra, Arizona. So all over the world, people are tuning in. So thank you, everybody, for listening. It's some of them, like I said, when you see the name, you're like, oh, I kind of have an idea who it is. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in, because it makes us, try to do our homework a little bit more. We would still do it because we have fun with each other, but it makes us want to do things that are actually listenable, right?
Yep. And I remember you saying, hey, we have somebody in South Korea listening.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, because my brother moved there.
That's right. Exactly.
And you're like, oh, thanks, Jayce's brother.
That checks that box. Excellent.
Yeah. So he counts for our Asia downloads. When you look at the map, it gives us North America, Europe, Asia, South America, Africa, and Oceania, which, how fancy for Australia and surrounding areas to be called Oceania.
That is fun.
We really need to talk to our marketing group, though, because we're throwing up donuts in South America, Africa, and Oceania.
I'll talk to her tomorrow.
We're doing good in the northern hemisphere, but we have a lacking in the southern hemisphere.
The other thing that I wanted to, since we have all these analytics that we can kind of piece apart and make sense out of them, a lot of people tune in on Spotify, which is fine. Spotify is cool. You use it sometimes, right? You use Spotify?
I do. I mostly use yes, to listen to us I use Spotify. I use Stitcher a lot for other ones.
Most of the people that listen use Spotify, then Apple, then Castbox and Podchaser. So the top ones are either they link directly to the Buzzsprout site, or they go to Spotify. And the problem with Spotify is it doesn't let you review podcasts. So when we tell people,
I guess I didn't realize that.
No. So when we tell people to listen on Spotify, which is fine. If you listen on Spotify, that's great. But it doesn't currently give you the ability to review a podcast like some of the other apps do. And I don't have any favor, and we're not getting paid by any apps, certainly. But if you would mind trying a different one that lets you write a little review, that would be cool.
Yep.
That's all I had to
If
say.
you could, and we also go back to, if you want to review us, you don't have to say anything nice, but just give us 5 stars.
Just give us 5 stars and say you're shit.
You're
13.
We're already past that. You don't need to say it anymore. You say Matt and Jayce, or no, that's our names. I was like, hold on, I said his name twice. So Matt and Jayce, bunch of tool bags, 5 stars.
I like that. A bunch of tool bags. Yeah. Yeah. Don't ever record your voice doing anything ever again. 5 stars.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. I mean, I'd
suck.
cry for a minute.
My grandma said so. 5 stars. But give us a review. You can leave us notes, messages on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Matt's working on his TikTok dance. We'll get on that at some point in time. Yes, I am working on the website, but websites are so 2001. Just hit us up on our socials, on the social meds.
Yeah, they're so 2000 and late.
Yeah, definitely not 2008. We're also working on trying to figure out how we do this live, possibly, so you get to see how my hair's too long and needs a haircut.
Excellent.
And how much better looking Matt is than I am.
Whatever, you handsome devil, you.
I know. Right back at you, you handsome devil.
Plus, you're stepping right out of the hot tub when you do this podcast, so you're all steamy.
I am. I'm like an Eddie Murphy skit from the mid-'80s. And just as talented. So, we're at an hour and 30, 90 minutes. The best 90 minutes you've spent all week long.
Easily.
So, Matt, go to your notes because it's that time. We got to do it.
All right, I think it's time to say, I'm Matt.
And I'm Jayce.
And if I don't see you in a long, long while,
I'll try to find you left of the dial. See you next time, folks. It's X Radio X.
Shit. 15.
All right.